it's such a huge event. First of all, to have everybody working together for the last 5 weeks to bring it back is incredible. There were so many promoters involved, so many different fighters, and I think you've got to take your hats off, first of all, to Boxer. It was a really exciting week at the O2 last time, 5 weeks ago. Obviously, we got the news of the tragic news of the Queen dying, and the board rightfully halted the event. And it was hard because in boxing, fighters have made weight. It's their big moment. It's not like a team sport. It's very different, and that was hard telling everyone that it was off. They were extremely professional. Remember, we had in Alicia and Michaela and Claressa 3 who are going back to America, so that's another load of jet lag and back and forth. Very hard, but I want to shout out Baz from Boxer, who had the O2 pretty sorted for October the 15th, and it was quite useful actually. You didn't have a couple of weeks, it was 5 weeks, so it was a good gap. But also I want to shout out to Dimitri Salita and Mark Taffet, Clarissa's team, because they have work to do, to Eddie and Frank, because obviously they had Alicia Baumgardner, to Top Rank and Todd DeBerth, they've got Michaela, and obviously to our partners at Boxer. Everyone worked together, and our scheduling at Sky, to make sure we got a great date again. We got the venue we wanted, and isn't it incredible that everyone's back together, and this time we can have a real celebration of women's sport, and that's what it's all about. This is a pivotal moment for me, for everyone at Sky. We've all worked really hard since 2012 when we had Savannah Marshall as a scholar, and then Eddie brought Katie Taylor to us, and what a pioneer and what an incredible story she's been. Terry Harper, Tasha Jonas, Chantel Cameron, who's got a big fight coming up. So many wonderful women who've come through, and it's a real proud moment for me and all the team to have this first all-female card, to show off our elite fighters, because we know how good they are and we want to show the world, and that's why it's not a box office event, that's why it's a Sky Sports event, that's why everybody's going to have the opportunity to see it, and I don't think any of them will let you down.
Who do you think it benefited more, the gap? Because like you said, the American fights had to go back to America. Savannah Marshall, she got to stay here. Who do you think benefited more from that time?
It's a really good question, and I think we'll only find out on Saturday night when it unfolds. What I would say is the four main protagonists look in incredible shape. I think maybe Michaela Mayer, it wouldn't have suited that well, because obviously she's looking at going to the next division, to lightweight, but she's been they're all been so consummately professional with all of this. And obviously the Americans have come back and forth, but they're so experienced, especially Claressa and Michaela in the amateurs, that they've flown all around the world. But it's all about, that they've had a few days off. You should talk to Karis and Lauren about how much they ate in the few days off, but they let themselves go, and then they came back. I know Claressa took 3 or 4 days off, and Savannah has had a bit more time to work on a few things. I know she's really happy. She's liked the extra time, but it's that, have they overtrained a bit? Just adds a little bit more fascination. I don't think there's much difference, though. I think when you're at this elite level, I think there's so many good conditioners and nutritionists around you. I expect them all to look amazing at the weigh-in and look incredible on fight night too.
You mentioned Savannah Marshall. She was one of the Sky scholars. How proud of you of her now coming up, and she's headlining this all-female card? What are your thoughts on that?
I've got a massive soft spot for Savannah. She's almost like a daughter or a younger sister, and obviously that has to go all out of the window when we pick up the mic on Saturday night, because it's the best woman will win. I also adore Claressa Shields, and have got to know her in the last couple of years, and she's got a fantastic character. She's magnetic to be around, and her accomplishments are wonderful. So very, very proud of what Claressa has done. But yeah, Savannah, we've been through a lot together, and Sky have. Those 4 years were really tough. She failed at the Olympics. She was in a terrible place at the end of that, and we had a team of Spencer Oliver, Johnny Nelson, Hugo Simpson, a lot of us who got round her at a time where she really needed some support, and obviously with Team GB we sort of helped bring her back, and that was a really proud moment to sort of get her through that. There was a time she was sitting in the Sky canteen and she said, "I'm done, Adam, I'm out of boxing," and I thought, it's really sad, because she was going to events and she was either failing at the first hurdle or she was winning a Commonwealth gold. There was no real sort of pattern to it. It was all about her confidence, or whether she could get that first win under her belt, whether she could then roll through a tournament. But there was that horrible moment, and I remember it really well in the Sky Canteen where she said, I'm done, I'm going to be a teacher. And I just thought, what a shame that she's got all this talent. And, something happened. She got a win in the amateurs. She talked to different people, and she got herself some sort of incredible deal with Floyd Mayweather. She ended up on the Mayweather-McGregor show, which was bizarre. But she took herself out of her comfort zone to go to Vegas. I think the real solution was Peter Fury. I think once they sort of set up shop, I think they've got so much respect for each other. I think Peter sort of cajoles her through. I think he's like a father figure, and I think she's absolutely right. And they're a great team. And I think she'll need him on Saturday night. But I think she's in an incredible place now. Her confidence is flowing. She's on top of the world, and there's no better time to be meeting Claressa Shields. People keep asking me, is she going to freeze on Saturday night at the O2? I'd have told you 3 years ago I'd be very, very worried about that happening. Now I have no worry. I think you'll see the best Savannah Marshall on Saturday night.
Do you think she enjoys the back and forth now? Like we just saw the press conference. Do you think she enjoys it now?
Do you know what? It's like a flower blossoming with Savannah. It's incredible. She couldn't believe she was topping a show in Newcastle a few months ago. I mean, I can't tell you how quiet and shy and she was, and how it was like I love being a mentor on the Sky Scholarship scheme. I had a tennis player, Daniel Ottmeyer, we still speak daily, and you don't lose that. And it was a really special time because I think Savannah grew when she was with us. I think we gave her a protective shield and we made her believe in herself again. And then it needed Peter and Mick and others to take it on, obviously, when our program finished. But I'm just very proud of her, and now she's handling herself up there, and she's funny, and she's almost like getting Claressa to take the bait, and it's great. But ultimately she's in this position because she's worked really hard, she's believed in herself, and she's got the talent to perform at this level. Can she win it? We'll find out on Saturday night. As I say, when we pick up the mic, Matt and I, it's no friendship. Friendships are out the window. The best woman will win, or we'll call it as we see it. But I'm hoping that Claressa and Savannah will be mates afterwards. I think they will be, and I'll be proud of Savannah Marshall, win, lose or draw on Saturday night.
There's also a new belt on the line, the Elizabeth belt. What impact will that have on this fight?
I think it was obviously what happened 5 weeks ago was a real shock for the nation. I mean, our Queen was at an age where this was always likely to happen at some moment, but still I think it came as a shock. She was always there. 70-year reign, she was there through our lives, and the ever-present figure. And I think it was a really tough time actually after that, of the 10 days of national mourning, everyone reflecting, and I think it's it's quite apt that there's a belt that's been called after her, and it almost sort of brings it full circle to where we were 5 weeks ago. We don't want to confuse anything. The belts that are on the line are the undisputed WBC, the WBO, the IBF, and the WBA. But this is just some would think it's a gimmick, some would say it's a beautiful prized possession, and others would say it's a wonderful touch to Her Majesty. And however you look at it, I think it's just another talking point, and it looks great, and I'm very proud of what our Queen gave to our country, and I think it's a great memento.
It was just mentioned in the press conference about boxing being pulled from the Olympics in Los Angeles. What impact will that have on the generations of females coming up? This is a big event, obviously. They've come from an era where boxing was always in the Olympics, and that was like part of their path. How do you think that's going to impact the females at the moment?
I know you were around the 2012 Olympics. My mother was as well. There was a really amazing feeling about London 2012, and you saw how much it was talked about today. It brought Katie Taylor holding the flag for Ireland. It brought us Nicola Adams. It brought us Claressa Shields. It brought us that fight between Katie and Tasha, which broke decibels, that Johnny and I were lucky enough to be. It was incredible, and the Olympics it's fantastic for the cycle of male and female fighters. AJ came from 2012, Luke Campbell, Anthony Ogogo, others. 2016 brought us the likes of Joe Joyce and Boatsi, and it's so important, and obviously there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I just hope that sense prevails and that we keep it as an Olympic sport. We must. It's one of the, if not the greatest sport in the world. That's why we work in it. Fighters are everything, amateur and pro. Without them, we'd be nothing. And I for one will be hoping that this sorry situation is sorted out.
Yeah. The last one from me. What can you tell us about the Boxer Sky events for the rest of the year?
Oh, that's a good question, because I've got Ben here and I've got Baz and a few others, and that's the sort of thing we'll be talking about in the coming hours. We look to November the 12th as our big Manchester show. Tasha Jonas, what a great story she is. We couldn't even squeeze her on this one. She'll be with us commentating, of course. And I keep telling Tash, I said, you're being greedy here. You told me you wanted to win one world title, and you bring that back to Mila, and look at you. You're starting to clean up here. This is getting a bit worrying. It's wonderful to see Tasha, who I think has been really unlucky in the pro ranks. She had that great fight with Terry and a fantastic fight with Katie Taylor, two standout fights of the year, and I think that's great. So it's wonderful to see her top the bill. Great to have a great fight with Benjamin and Dalton Smith as well. That's terrific. And I've missed Dalton actually since he moved to DAZN, so it'll be great seeing him again. And Fraser Clark on the bill, and Brad Ray, and of course the Hatton Barrera exhibition as well. And of course, I would go way back with Ricky and Marco, and they're good friends of mine. So that's a nice little added touch. So looking forward to November 12th. I think we're also looking at a fight night in late November and again in December. So we'll get our hats on and come out with something, and we'll be announcing things soon.
Busy end to the year then.
See Chris Billam-Smith out of the corner of my eye, and I wonder if we'll have another trip to Bournemouth coming up as well. So there's lots happening, and there's some big announcements coming, but I think the most important thing is that our young stars, the likes of Caroline, Lauren and Karis, who are all in action on Saturday, Fraser, who's back on November the 12th, Adam Azim, who I'm looking to get out very quickly again, Hassan as well, and others like Mikhail Lawal. I want to see the young really take the centre stage. Ben has a slight injury at the minute, but he'll be back soon, and I look to be getting them rolling, because with the momentum and the platform we have, we're going to create superstars. And as I said up there at the presser, I've no doubt that Caroline, Lauren and Karis will all be world champions, and I think Fraser and Ben are going to transcend the sport too. As for Adam Azim, I could do a whole interview on him.
Thank you very much for your time, Adam.
No problem at all.